That record holds now that the camera completely
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Grand Prix Podcast, recorded on a Sunday. Blimey. I'm Elton, this is Andy.
You know what's even more amazing than recording on a Sunday?
I think I know what you're going to say, but go on.
I'm in the UK.
What?
I'm here. Yeah, I'm on the same time zone as you.
Give over.
Yeah.
I don't get it. You're like jet setting round more than these drivers.
Not quite. And certainly not in quite the same luxury as Kimmy's Instagram keeps reminding us with constant photos of his private jet.
Dude, honestly. Could you get more rock and roll than that? I don't know.
No, not really. But yes, I am back after my all too brief visit to Australia. I am back and jet lagged all the way to fuck.
Good man. Oh, well, I'm glad there's a yin and a yang to that trip.
I'm glad you're suffering. That's the takeaway from that.
I think you stuck up a picture of you at the airport and a Qantas plane in the background.
Yeah. I
was so tempted to send you like what was it? The Rain Man bit. Qantas never crash. I thought, no, better not, just in case.
Well, it wouldn't have mattered. I wasn't flying on Qantas anyway.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, because they fly to Australia, don't they?
Well, they also fly back from it. It's not a one-way thing. But no,
that's right. Otherwise, all the planes would just be in Australia, wouldn't they?
It would be a poor business model, I imagine.
Have to boat them out.
Yeah, boat the plane. Yeah, turn them around, stick them on a boat, float them all the way back up to the UK, and then send them back again.
Yeah, we just fly to Australia, strip the planes down, build them back again in South Africa and in America and in the Europe, and then flying back.
Exactly, yeah.
Not a great model at all.
No. Maybe that's why all the other Australian airlines kind of ended up going bust years ago. So maybe that's what they were doing.
They're still doing it. Idiots.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're here to talk about the 2018 Mexico Grand Prix.
We are.
Mexican Grand Prix.
Mexican, which finished, as of this recording, about 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, about that. Yeah, the TV program is still on, and I'm sure there'll be lots of talk about a certain Mr. L. Hamilton.
Possibly. It's entirely possible that might happen.
Yeah.
Speaking of the TV program, though, can I get a little rant out of the way early on?
Yeah, please, go for it.
The fuck's happened to Ted's Notebook? Used to be the highlight of the coverage for me was Ted's Notebook.
Yep.
Useful little insights into, the ins and outs of what's been going on over the session. Interesting information about, comments that have been made, some rumours, some radio messages. Just gives you some deeper insight into what's going on. Ted's qualifying notebook basically involved him walking up to Spanish speakers who didn't speak English and talking to them and then being bemused that they didn't speak English.
Right, okay.
And then he was going around and trying some tequila ice cream and some churros. And this thing runs for 28 minutes, something like that. Of which, from what I can tell, because I stopped watching after a while, about 18 minutes of it is him just twatting about. I don't mind a little bit of the local colour. I don't mind a little sense of what it's like to be at the races. That's nice. It used to be he'd do his notebooky stuff and then a little bit at the end, like 5-10 minutes. That's fine, because if I don't want to watch it then, I don't have to. But now, that's all it is.
It's when they force the issue. If it happens naturally, if something happens or you bump into someone or you have because he would sometimes bump into Lauda and have a chat with him about planes. I've got no problems with that. That's fine. That's part of the flow of the conversation.
But now he's looking for it. That's the point of it now. The point of it are those bits.
Yep.
Walking up to, Johnny Herbert, who's giving an interview just to say, oh, what's Johnny talking about, huh? Oh, yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah. Oh. Did he do this little in joke that no one else is in on?
Dude, the dad jokes again. I like a dad joke, and in the context. By the way, if you don't watch Sky, we apologise. You're not really missing much.
You're not really missing much, and in the UK you don't really have too much of an option.
No, especially after the start of next year as well. But it's the dad jokes and the silly little things, the little nods and winks and in jokes, etc., which are really great. I know I've said this before, but it's really, really grating on me. He started calling Paul di Resta P. Diddy.
Affectionately known as P. Diddy.
Now,
no one calls him P. Diddy except you, Ted. It's you.
Exactly.
Only you. No one else. Just you.
That is such a dad joke. It's just unfathomable. It's just, it does my head in. It really does.
So that's basically my little gripe about the Sky coverage. Just get it out there. It's done. It's fine. Okay, Mexican Grand Prix.
Yes.
What did you think?
What did I think?
See, I stole your bit. You see.
Good man. I thought it was quite entertaining. I didn't think it had much in the way of drama, but it had its moments.
You know what it had?
It had passing.
No. One, not two, but 3 virtual safety cars.
That's true, yes. Yeah, had virtual safety cars, which I think would have been better as safety cars. But we've already tread that ground, haven't we? We had a champion crowned.
We did.
We had a runner-up looking very sheepish.
Very, I would say broken man.
Yeah,
it seemed a bit broken. He was a bit upset. We had a petulant boy cheer up somewhat.
Yes. We also had an Aussie star who had the biggest smile on his face from Saturday.
Oh, that was ripped off, man. That was, oh wow, that is
That's going to take weeks to heal. That is.
That's not a happy bunny there. No. And I have to imagine, Christian Horner probably very smug about it as well.
Yeah. But I think with his retirement, I think it was hydraulic. I think that's what they're aiming towards. But it might
they'll still blame the engine.
Yeah.
They'll still blame the engine.
But I think overall we got some good stuff. And
it wasn't too bad. It was far from the best race of the season, but equally it was far from the worst. It was one which, for me, it was always on the edge of promising to become a classic.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, oh, this is set up beautifully. You just need to drop the hammer. You just do the thing now, and it's going to be a class. And that just never happened.
No.
And I know I've said in the past that the promise of a great race is not the same as a great race, but this was at least a good race. With the promise of a great race.
Yeah. We've had a lot worse races, and to the point where I was actually not really looking forward to watching races, and I haven't had that for a long time. I forget which race that was. I think that was the Russian Grand Prix.
Yeah, I think that was, yeah.
But this, I've been looking forward to watching this all weekend. It's set up to be either a fantastic race or a proper dull fest, and it kind of sat quite comfortably in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't rock my world as much as I was hoping it would, but at least it didn't bore me at all. I was always entertained. I was always watching.
Yeah.
So yes. Yourself? I think you've already answered that, but yeah, yourself?
Yeah. Much the same. It was. The Mexican Grand Prix is always a bit of a strange one for me. I don't hate it, but it's certainly not one that I love. And I still think it's yet to produce a classic race in this new configuration.
Mm.
But it was perfectly serviceable.
Do you know what this is like? This is like the old Grand Prix drivers turning up. This is like, I wouldn't say Jackie Stewart. This is more like Mika Hakkinen turning up and, okay, well, we have to listen to you because you're twice world champion, but we're really not that interested in what you got to say. And it's always been a bit dull. So, okay, we'll spare you that. We'll give you that. We'll listen. And then we'll walk away and forget about it. And that is what this race is like.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that.
Yeah,
it is, and I do think that it exacerbates a few of the problems that we have with Formula One. The tyres are far too prevalent in dictating the race.
Mm-hmm.
Or rather, it's that weird one where they kind of fuck up everyone's race, and because everyone's races is fucked up, it just means it's miserable. It's not like it's dynamic and this has managed to get his tyres doing like extra. No, everyone's tyres were just fucked on this one, so it was just a bit.
Yeah, but I didn't feel that they were coasting around, treading on eggshells with them. I felt that they were still driving the cars.
I felt they were a little bit on eggshells, or at the very least, it felt like it wasn't quite a truly train. But it was definitely, you could definitely tell the cars were, and this is, maybe not so much tyres, but the aerodynamic issues. The cars were where they were because they couldn't really get any closer because, if they got closer, there was grading. And there was passing, which was great. There's some really good passing, which I enjoyed. Mm. But I feel there could have been more.
Yeah.
Should have been more.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's kind of that.
Okay, cool. Well, before we jump into all the ins and outs of everything that happened, was there any news that happened in between the last race in the United States and this one?
I'm sure there was, but I did have a 24-hour flight in between then and now. But I have the Autosport page in front of me, which conveniently lists a lot of this news.
That's good enough for me, man.
So I'll report stuff, pretending like I know what it is, but I have no real idea. I'm just going to read off of the headlines here, some bits and pieces. We got some rumours that Esteban Gutierrez could be returning for Williams.
He's over in IndyCar at the moment, isn't he?
I think so, yeah. And I think at this point, everyone under the sun is currently considered for that Williams seat. So who knows? And speaking of Williams, let's segue over to the other bit of news from them. Is they had a new title sponsor all lined up, but it was stolen out from under them by Haas. It was just snipped. They turned around. It was apparently they were at the US being wined and dined by Williams. Claire Williams gave them a personal tour of the grid. They were there as guests. It was all ready to go, and then just before they inked the deal, Haas turned around and said, well, we'll give you everything Williams are giving you, but ask for less money.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I have to say, as critical as I am of Williams, repeatedly, it did feel like a bit of turnabout being fair play today when Williams finished ahead of Haas.
Yes, yeah, they were rock bottom, I think.
They were. There was a little bit of karma going on there. I think.
Yeah.
So
I think with that deal that they had. It was an energy drink, wasn't it? I forget which energy drink it was, but it was with another brand coming into the sport for the first time, and they'd had the handshake, although nobody can prove that handshake, and so there's no contract binding anything whatsoever, and so Williams probably feel like they've had their nose put out of joint, and rightly so as well. And Haas probably think that they've stolen something from underneath someone else's nose and felt really happy and glad about it and puffing their chest out. And, yeah, like you said, the comeuppance was today, wasn't it?
A little bit, but who knows if this will carry on in terms of their performance. Williams have been shit all season. I don't see them getting any better before the end of it, to be honest.
No.
I think this was more just Haas. This circuit really didn't play well for them. So, it is what it is. On that one, what else have we got here? There's some sort of ding-dong going on between Hartley and Toro Rosso, but I don't really know what it is. He got an update on his car, but Gasly didn't. And the headline here was, Hartley not allowed to explain Gasly remark, but I haven't seen the Gasly remark. So I don't know what he said that he's not allowed to comment on.
Right, okay.
So
I can't see
the kind of quality reporting you come to the Grand Prix podcast to hear.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why these 10 people download it.
To be fair, 8 people, because you and I both download.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, we've got to make sure the feed's working.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to keep those numbers up.
Yeah. Well, how will my children be fed? it's not going to happen otherwise, is it? So I've got to get these downloads in. Hartley. He's got to prove something, hasn't he? He's trying his hardest, but I haven't heard any comments made whatsoever from Gasly.
No, I'm just.
Surely he's not out of favour in Toro Rosso. I know he's on his way.
No, I think the comment is. I think Hartley made a comment, but now he's been told to shut up.
Oh.
So it sounds like he said something. Someone says, "What did you mean by that?" And he's now saying, "I'm told I'm not allowed to comment on it."
Oh.
Again, I don't know because I didn't hear the comment because I was on a plane.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm sure people will figure that out later on.
Yeah.
Anything else here that looks interesting? No, I don't think so.
No. Okay.
I think we can call. As always, if I suddenly find something in the middle of the cast, I'll suddenly just say, "Oh, I found some more news."
Yeah, go for that. Well, what I'll do, I'll jump into the free practices and then the qualifyings, if that's all right.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let me just bring up my wiki. Right, FP1 and 2. It was hot and beautiful weather, and it provided a bit of a shake-up to the grid with the thinner air playing into the hands of the Red Bulls and the Renaults. I think Verstappen was topping almost every session, barring one of the important ones, which we get onto very quickly.
One particular session, yeah.
FP3 was damp. There was an overnight downpour. A couple of drivers went out on intermediates. Williams, get this, they went out on full wets. They did their best, looking like lost grandparents at the Grand Prix. This was just, okay, everyone's going past us. We are just poodling around. We don't know where we're going. I don't know what they were thinking, because there were dry patches on that track. There was no real standing water. It was just moisture. It was just...
It's fucking embarrassing, isn't it?
What were they thinking? There was no water to clear. There was no water to cut through. And putting them out on full wets was just ridiculous. But once again, the whole grid had to be careful with how many inters and wets they used. Just in case qualifying was wet, and then the race may have been wet as well. So that everyone had an eye on their tyre allocation. We also had Bottas pull over. He had a hydraulic failure, and that brought out a VSC during the free practice. And there was a bit of a rush to get his car ready for Q1, but they did get him out in time, which was good. So good turnaround for the Mercedes. In Q1, we had... Alonso had his first time removed, but then went out and set a second time. But I think he was harshly removed. He was coming through the S's, the end of the S's, and someone squirreled in front of him, and he had to avoid them and had to go over the line. And, okay, right, this is maybe a little bit of news. They had a section, turn 11, where they brought out if you go wide, your time will be removed. And it is now no longer the white line that deems the track. It is now the rumble strip, the red and white rumble strip. If you go over that with all four white tyres, then you are deemed off the track. Which begs the question, why not just put the white line on the other side of the rumble strip then? Just put the white line, just have the white line as the rule and put the white line on the other side. Well, okay, well, why not move the white line further back? Just give them all that room to play with. I reckon, why not give them a massive exit and then give them all the free play, and there'll be about 4 or 5 different lines that people take. I don't know. It just another thing that bugs. We've gone over that many times, but yeah, it's just, give over, man. What are you doing?
Look, I maintain they have the technology now with GPS and everything like this, and using the similar technology with the over the line stuff they use in football.
Yep.
That you could set it so that if a car leaves the track, all 4 wheels, the pit lane limiter cuts in until they rejoin the circuit.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, you do that, and I promise you, not a single driver will exceed track limits.
Mm-hmm.
Not a single one.
They had it in the US last time out. They were using GPS on it.
Yeah, they're using GPS, but I'm saying if you connect it to either a pit lane limiter or you just cut out the throttle,
a massive air brake.
Yeah, whatever you want to do. But my point is, it's a bit like Martin Brundle was always saying about Monaco. You very rarely exceed track limits in Monaco, because if you do, you tend to end up in a concrete wall. Mm. It's the same in that thing. They do it because they can.
Yeah.
So if you do it so that, if you go off, it throws on the pit lane limiter, no one will do it.
That's right, yeah. I totally agree. In Q1, we lost Sorokin, Stroll, Magnussen, Van Dorn, and Grosjean.
We lost to Williams. What?
Yeah, that's right.
I'm shocked.
Mm-hmm. But they weren't the slowest. Oh, no, they were the slowest.
They were the slowest. Yeah,
they were the slowest. Yeah. In Q2, nothing really happened. So we lost Gasly, Hartley, Perez, Alonso, and then Ocon. And in Q3...
Wait. I have info there, though. The Force Indias, that was a tactical decision not to go into Q1.
Into Q3?
Into Q3, sorry, yeah. They wanted to start 11th and 12th.
Right.
Because they wanted the tyre choice.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
So they could choose that. Also, Gasly didn't set a time because... and I know this is going to be shocking, but he had a 20-place grid drop for an engine change and a gearbox change.
Man, oh man.
I
was unaware of the Force India tactics there.
It was on the coverage they were talking about it, but it was a tactical decision not to go into Q3.
Right, okay. Well, yeah, we did lose Gasly, Hartley, Perez, Alonso, Ocon, and in Q3... I found this quite interesting. Max Verstappen, he had provisional pole after his first run. Mm-hmm. And then lightning struck and Ricciardo just robbed him blind.
Okay. No. This needs to be addressed properly. So, as is the want of commentators who love useless stats and stuff like this, it kept going on all the time through the qualifying that Max Verstappen has a chance of being the youngest ever pole sitter, beating Sebastian Vettel by 45 days or some shit like that. Non-stop. Every time the camera cut to Max Verstappen, that's all we heard. Mm-hmm. All we heard. And this was the best chance. I think Red Bull had identified this was probably the circuit we were going to do best at here. And it was just non-stop. Oh, Max Verstappen's going to get pole. He's going to get pole. He's going to get pole. He's going to get pole. And even Max seemed quite certain he was going to get pole. And he got it to the position, and then all of a sudden, the fuck out of nowhere, no idea where this came from, Daniel Ricciardo went through and got it. And it was glorious. It was glorious because of all this commentary thing. I sent you a GIF as it happened, which was J. Jonah Jameson laughing when Peter Parker asked for a raise in the first Spider-Man film. And that just encapsulated my feelings perfectly. I laughed so hard at that. and especially when he pulled up at the end and petulantly just crashed into the two they got those boards which they put in front of the cars, and he just crashed into it. It's like, wow.
Well, he'd been topping every single chart up until that point, and it was the destiny that it should have happened, shouldn't it?
Well, you can top every single chart, but there's only one you have to do. You have to be leading it to the very end.
That's right. And give him his dues. I thought he put in a fantastic lap to get the provisional pole, and everyone was sat around going, "Oh, hang on, nobody can really beat that, can they?"
No. Fair play to Matt. It was a mighty lap. It was great. It was just amazing. And then Danny Rick beat it. And then what kind of knocks me a bit more is we heard excuses. Oh, I had an engine problem, but I had, FP2. Fuck off. You had an engine problem. Danny Rick beat you because he did a better lap. That's it. I'm not saying your lap was bad. I'm just saying his was better.
We didn't hear anything about that engine problem until we came second.
Yeah, and that's it's. I know I sound overly harsh on Max. It's because I usually am. But it was a great lap. There's nothing wrong with saying, look, I did a damn good lap. His was better. That's all it was. It was just he got it all hooked up just right. And that, I mean, it was less than what? So Max Verstappen was a 1:14.785, and Ricciardo was a 1:14.759.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking hundredths of seconds here, but you know, it was a damn impressive lap from the pair of them. What was interesting though is the Red Bull had the slowest straight line speed.
Yeah.
Ferrari had the fastest. So the top four, it was, you know, Red Bull at the front, then Mercedes, then Ferrari. So you have, in terms of straight line speed, reverse order.
Yeah, and that is what everyone was getting really excited about. That's what I was getting really excited about toward turn one. I thought, this is
I was getting excited because someone was saying there's going to be carnage in turn one. I'm like, yes.
That's what I was thinking. It's just going to be... It's like when you go online and play these Formula One games and it's physics off and damage on. And that's it. It's just piles into everyone and it's just bits of carbon fibre flying everywhere.
You wanted Spa 98, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. That's what I was picturing, yes.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, we didn't get that.
No, we didn't get that. So I'll just run down the top 10 for the race.
Do the top 10, yeah.
Okay, so Danny Rick got the pole position from Max Verstappen, who's in second place. Lewis Hamilton was in third position, smiling quite a lot actually, like the cat that got the cream in front of Sebastian Vettel.
I think they knew that Red Bull were going to be 1 and 2, but I think they thought that Ferrari would be 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought Ferrari would be ahead of Mercedes.
Yes.
That didn't pan out that way.
It did not.
Sebastian Vettel was fourth. Bottas was fifth. Raikkonen was sixth. Hulkenberg turned up in seventh. Carlos Sainz eighth. Charles Leclerc was ninth, and Marcus Ericsson was 10th. So it is a very 2x2 grid, really, isn't it?
It is. It is a bit of that. I just want a little bit of housekeeping. Roman Grosjean had a 3-place grid penalty for causing a collision in the previous round.
Yes, that's right.
So there you go.
So who did start at the back? It was Gasly, wasn't it?
Gasly started at the back with his 20-place grid drop.
Good.
Incidentally, if you refresh that page now, they've got the results there too.
Oh, have they? Oh, that's interesting.
It is nice of them.
Hey, there it is.
Hey.
Well done, that person, whoever wrote that out.
They still haven't finished putting the drivers and constructors details there. So hopefully by the time we get to that point, if we refresh it again, then it'll be good.
Yeah, there's someone beavering away as we read this out. They're like, oh man, it needs to be ready.
Like I said, it's the cutting edge. It's the cutting edge here that we are.
It is.
The bleeding edge.
The program is still going at the moment. Okay, right. Let's get into the race. So the start, I was predicting either nothing happens or carnage happens. And I think we had Ricciardo very slow off the lights, lots of wheel spin. And so he bogged right down. Lewis jumped him straight off the bat. I
was going to say someone shot a lightning bolt up Lewis's ass.
Yeah.
I've never seen a boy move that fast.
That was one of his most impressive starts, I think, this year. I know that he's been starting from pole position and front row most of the time, but that was a pretty good start from him, I thought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then I thought, going down to turn one, we had you saw Max, he had the inside line. I thought, no, he ain't going to give that over. We all know what Max is going to do. He's going to either take it or go out. Yeah. And everyone else knows that, and everyone else wants to carry on racing, so they're going to go, well, give it to him for now.
Lewis only needs to finish. Lewis only needed to finish 7th. So I knew it was the same as we were saying last week. It was just, he's not going to do it. I think if he wanted to force the issue, we might have had, if not a collision, certainly a squeaky pants moment.
Yeah.
But he was just like, nah, no, you can have it. And that was that. And then Max disappears off into the distance, off into the sunset. I don't want to take anything away from his win because he did a fantastic race. And, with tyre issues, the Red Bulls were generally a lot easier on their tyres than we've seen with everything else. But basically, after that was him gone off in the distance.
Yeah, he didn't really suffer from the graining as much as everyone else, did he?
I don't think either of the Red Bulls did. We saw when Max did the effectively the free pit stop under the VSC, his tyres apparently still look good, and I think Danny Ric probably would have been able to do the rest of the race as a one-stopper, and probably hold off Sebastian Vettel had his engine not decided to go boop.
I think he would have been able to hold him off.
Yeah.
I think he had it in there. I think that car was fast enough, definitely around the tight and twisty bits to stretch out just enough, because there were points where Sebastian Vettel wasn't in the slipstream and he didn't have the DRS either.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think he could have held him off, and I think it would have been a 1-2 as well.
I think so too, yes. But yeah, fair play to Max. He got a fantastic start off the line. And as we said before, he's cultivated a reputation around himself that drivers... I mean, let's talk about something else that just happened in the race. When you had Lewis and Kimi fighting.
Yes.
That was really close stuff. But at no point did you think either of them were going to run the other one off the road. Even though it'd be very easy to just run him off just a little bit or just understeer out and, just blame it on whatever. But he didn't do it.
Well, I thought Kimi Räikkönen had every chance of taking that apex. And Hamilton was running a risk of losing his nose by going up the inside there. He didn't have his front wheels alongside the rear wheels at the point where Kimi was turning in.
Yeah, no.
And so he had every right to take that corner, but he didn't. He saw him and he's like, oh, do you know what? Yeah, okay. I better open that just in case. And like you said, I thought it was really, really good driving from both of them. It was world championship driving from both of them, wasn't it?
And before people start saying, oh, well, it's Kimi just wasn't racing hard enough. Kimi doesn't want to take the championship leader out because can you imagine what that's going to sound like? And if he does, there's just as much chance that, Kimi's taken out or does a little pirouette like Ferraris are prone to do when they touch and ends up facing the wrong way. And I feel that if you are up against Max Verstappen, you don't race like that because you're fucking terrified.
Yeah. Yeah, you imagine the headlines after Kimi had taken out Hamilton. It would all be geared around, oh, were you told to do that? And Ferrari told him to do that. And that would be the story, even though he probably wasn't told to do that. I can't imagine.
I'm not going to crash into him. I don't care. You're just driving alongside me.
Yeah. But I can't imagine Ferrari turning around and saying to any driver, or I can't imagine Mercedes saying the same thing. Well, we had this in France as well, didn't we? Oh, just hit the Mercedes. Just hit the Mercedes. It'll be all right. Don't worry about it. I can't imagine anyone doing that.
Well, no. I can imagine Ferrari perhaps asking a driver, but I can't imagine Kimi giving a fuck. Just be like, nope.
I don't think they would nowadays.
I suppose you're right. Yeah, I mean, back in the day they would, but now Arriva Bene seems a lot more honourable, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, I really like him. I really, really like him. I saw an interview with him this weekend as well. I really do like him, but they are getting desperate now. Ferrari are getting desperate now for titles.
Well, they're still in with a chance of the constructors, so who knows? But yeah, it's the drivers is the one they want.
Yep.
So we will see on that one. But the point was, still talking about turn one here. Lewis was always going to give Max that position because he wasn't going to force the issue because he didn't have to.
No.
And after that, I think that is probably what led to his tyres suffering how they did. I just don't think the Mercedes was happy at all in dirty air.
Yeah.
I think if he'd have gotten out ahead and could have set the pace, probably would have been better at looking after those tyres. And if not stretched it out to a one stop, certainly wouldn't have seen the graining in quite the same way we did. But,
Right.
it was picking up dirty air. It was, to quote Lewis, opening up his tyres.
Yeah. I kind of agree with you. I think his tyres would have lasted a bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
But I still don't think they were as kind as the Red Bulls.
No, I think Red Bull were exceptionally kind here. I think Red Bull, on a whole, generally are kind to tyres. It seems to be one of their kind of character traits. Red Bull are usually kind to the tyres. Ferrari are usually better at turning the tyres on.
Yeah.
I think Mercedes are just the median, but because they're there, they're kind of, more of a jack of all trades, master of none.
They have the speed to cover any failures that they have. Either they open up a gap and then can rest and look after the tyres, or they have the speed to overtake other people once they've pitted.
Yeah.
Or should have the speed anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we did have some bumping and grinding in the first and second corner, though.
Yeah, it was a bit of a strange one. We had Ocon. Who did he actually hit? I can't remember.
He hit Hulkenberg.
He hit Hulkenberg, which sent a bit of his wing flying, which somehow found its way into the barge board of Alonso's Mercedes.
Yeah.
McLaren, sorry.
And I can't work out if that was the problem that made Alonso retire. I know it hit his car and got wedged in there, but it was in the barge boards. Now, whether something else went in and damaged something else deeper inside, I don't know. But it seemed as if people were blaming that part from hitting him as the reason why he was retiring.
Yeah, it could have potentially gone into the radiator or something like that, but
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, to be honest, if I was Alonso, I'd be like, I'm done.
Yeah, and with his retirement went the chance, what was it? Michael Schumacher has the most amount of laps ever in Formula One. And Alonso had the opportunity. Had he finished this race and the next race and the last race, he could have completed more laps than Michael Schumacher in his career, thus becoming the most experienced in miles or in laps of anyone else who's taken part in Formula One. But with him retiring on lap 3, that has now gone up in smoke. He now can't get that record. So,
yeah, he can. He just come back again.
If he comes back, which, okay, what team would he come back with?
Who can say? I don't think it's out. I tell you what, if the new rules come in and massively improve racing, and if Liberty Media are smart and decide to do a Bernie effectively and maybe, persuade a team or something to take him on, I could see him coming back, because he's still going to be a great driver, and I think that would be a great story for Formula One. So I reckon I don't think it'll be with McLaren, not in a week of fucking Sundays.
No,
but maybe when Lewis does finally decide to go and pursue his music and acting and fashion career, all of these things. Hashtag blessed.
Yeah, I was waiting for it.
When that happens, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised at all if someone was to massage it in such a way that Alonso was to get a shot. I'm not saying he would get the seat, but he might well get a chance.
He'll have a test
or something like that.
Right.
We'll see. So yeah, it could happen in future. It just kind of depends on if he comes back or not. So we will see. But those sort of records for me are, it's like the old Heidfeld record, wasn't it? The most Grand Prix finishes without a point scored or something.
Oh, do you know? I don't know. Did he even get a podium? Yes, he did get a podium. Yeah, of course he did.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, one thing Crofty loves is his useless facts.
Yeah, I'm noticing that quite a lot. Yeah. So Alonso's out now.
He was out. He was out in the first corner. Yes.
Yeah. That brought out the first VSC as well. They relied on the VSC.
We had, I think, 3 in total.
We certainly did. Yeah.
And they were all 4 retired cars on circuits. I don't get it though, because from what I could tell, all of the drivers pulled up next to access roads.
Yes, they did. Yeah.
Why did we need VSCs for that? Because surely Marshall comes out, hits the forced neutral if you need to, and just wheels the car back in, and it's done.
I think it's from what you said, I think last time out, where you have Marshall at the Japanese Grand Prix, where you have marshals working on the track now. That is the reason why the VSC was born.
Mm-hmm.
And so to keep it in place, although we had seen like a turn of them deciding not to bring out the VSC and do it under safety cars or double wave yellows, but they seem to have remembered where that button was.
I think they've just been listening to the cast, no matter how much you love it.
Yeah.
And have decided to...
I do miss it.
You do miss it, yeah. It's the highlight of your race weekend, is the VSC. I felt the VSC, certainly when we had Vettel and Ricciardo fighting, the VSC really kind of ruined that. Because that momentum was gone then.
Yes.
And we did have the tension of, well, any time now, the penny can drop and he's off again. But it never quite, it just wasn't quite the same.
No.
And I really don't see why we needed the VSC. Certainly not. I mean, it went on for like 2 laps on both instances. Double wave yellows, mate. That's what they're there for. Look, you got marshals on the circuit. I get that. But for me, okay, with the Ricciardo one, I can understand that because they were out right on the firing line.
Yeah.
At the end of a pit straight. That's fine. Sure. Do that there. But the other ones, especially the Alonso one, it was, I can't remember what it was, but it was right after a corner. So it's like, you're not picking up speed to do that there. And you're kind of on the inside of that. Double waved yellows, if that.
Okay, right. I agree with you with the Ricciardo one because it's down at the end of the main straight into T1.
Yeah.
And you have cars hurtling down there. If something goes wrong, then that's a mess.
Mm-hmm.
And so I agree with that one. There's no problem. You can't legitimately clear up a car nowadays and expect to get away with it under just double waved yellows because drivers, they want to pinch everything. And so I agree with that. Alonso was, I think, turn 11, which is coming out of all the S's.
Yeah.
And so that is a fast acceleration point. Yes, he was right near the access point, but still, you've still got cars hurtling around there. And I feel in nowadays, the health and safety aspect of it, no, you need the VSC. That is why it was brought out for. So if that's why we created it, then we have to use it in that position. But with the science one, you're at the slowest point of the circuit. People aren't herring into the stadium at terrific speeds. They are slowing down anyway. There is no passing going on there anyway. So that is the only one I found a bit weird that they did actually bring out for that. And also science kind of if he carried on turning left, he would have been well out of the firing line anyway. But he kind of turned right and put himself into the firing line. But then again, I don't really know exactly what was going on in the car, whether he could have turned left or not. But it looked like it just jumped and decided, nope, no thank you, I've had enough.
I think the issue for me is I just need to see consistency about when they're using it to understand why they're using it. Now, if the new rule is, if a car breaks down on the circuit anywhere, it's a VSC, fine, I don't like it, but at least I understand it.
Yeah.
That's what I think it all just comes down to that, wanting that consistency. Because, I mean, after last week, prior to that, I think we had like a run of maybe 5-6 races where we didn't see one once, did we?
No, and we had the opportunity to have it as well, didn't we?
Yeah.
But it didn't really come out. So it is peculiar. Do you think this race would have been improved if we'd had proper safety car? And 3 of them as well.
Ooh. It would have made it a lot more unpredictable.
I couldn't tell you who would have won under 3 safety cars. There's just no way of knowing that.
There's no way, because especially when the tyres, yeah. And that's another one of those situations where, if you're in the right place of a circuit when a safety car's pulled, you can have a free pit stop.
Yeah.
Never mind a cheap one. So,
maybe Max would have won it. I think he had the speed and the skill, and it was just shining on him today to actually win. But I don't think Hamilton could have got up there. Sebastian could have created as well. Maybe even Bottas or Raikkonen.
Well, Raikkonen maybe.
Yeah, okay. But it would have thrown up lots there. I feel it would have made it a lot more unpredictable than what it was.
Yeah, I kind of feel that I'd almost rather have either a full safety car or double waved yellows for that sector. I know I've gone on about this before. I'd rather they did with double waved yellows, you effectively slow zone just that sector and let, once you're through there, you can carry on elsewhere. No system where you have to artificially interfere with a race is going to be fair entirely. Just by its very nature, it's not. But it's just really frustrating when, as you say, you're at the slowest part of a circuit and you've got cars going around, the S's or along pit straights, and they're not allowed to race because of something the other side. It's like, oh, that's just shit.
It is frustrating. Although I didn't mind. I know what you mean about it breaking up the race between Ricciardo and Vettel, but watching them poodling around next to each other, waiting for it to drop, I knew that we get the message that it says ending, and so we can get prepared to actually go back and race. But it was quite cool just watching them just poodling around behind each other, waiting for it to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I still feel that there is a fudge factor in between the numbers. If you're given numbers to hold to, then you can fudge them numbers. And it's easily fudgeable. And that is something I cannot physically see in front of me. But if you're behind a safety car, we know when the safety cars come in. Once he's in, the leader of the pack is now the safety car, and we're just waiting for him to drop the hammer. And that is something we can all get behind.
I noticed that they were saying all cars must slow speed by 40% or something, or 40%. What again? Why can't we have some sort of a limiter that is activated in the same way that you have the pit lane limiter? Because with these ECMs and everything like that, you could have different engine modes and different things like that to enable. So if that's done, and all of the cars have this sudden thing put in, I don't know, it limits performance to a certain percentage or something like that. If you do that, at least we can understand it instantly and say, okay, we know what all of the cars now are limited to. I don't know what these cars make. Let's just say for easy math, all of a sudden they're limited to only the battery and ERS system. so they've only got the 160 brake horsepower.
Oh, that'd be good. Just running on batteries.
Yeah, so you kind of just when it's VSC mode or whatever, is all of a sudden your battery mode only.
Yeah.
And you've got to make through on that.
Yeah, and it's limited to a set piece. If there's a hairpin, you lose out there a little bit. But all the other corners are slow enough that the car can easily make it round there and nobody lose out any time. You're just on the VSC button, keeping everyone on track instead of trying to run to a delta.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the VSC button instead. Yeah,
maybe so.
It's just one more button. Well, they can't really moan about one more button, can they? They keep putting hidden buttons on there, so why not have a VSC button?
It doesn't even have to be a button. It could be a dial, because then you could have pit lane, VSC, passing.
Or they take it out of their hands, and that is the only thing that race control can control. They hit the big yellow VSC button next to Charlie Whiting. He hits it with his hand. Bang! All the cars go into VSC mode.
Maybe.
And then he's like, okay. Then we get the countdown. This will be removed in 10, 9, 8.
Yeah.
And then he presses the button and flicks the switch and it all comes off and then they go racing again.
Yeah.
That's
I'm down
it,
with
man.
that. There you go. We fixed Formula One once again.
I hate VSC, but I've made it more interesting.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was that. I think was there anything else really worth talking about?
Okay, well, there was Ricciardo got balked a little bit. He was having a good battle with Vettel, as we said earlier on. He got balked by Leclerc and Perez.
Yeah, back markers and everything.
Yeah,
that is part of a circuit. It's part of a way of it.
We had a move from Sebastian on Hamilton, a legitimate overtake.
We had a legitimate overtake, which was great. Yeah, all kind of just comes down to, again, those tyres were just not working really well for the Mercedes. We saw Hamilton nearly go spearing off, and then Bottas go spearing off a following lap.
I thought that was a replay, but it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. And yeah, it got really close to that bloody wall.
Yeah, that's right. Hamilton had to come in twice, didn't he? And the second time he came in, he had to go out on used tyres. So they were running low on amount of tyres.
Yeah, which was strange. It's like, well,
just didn't allocate them correctly.
Yeah, it comes back to this whole, they have to choose the allocation, bloody weeks or months in advance. And it's, well.
Yeah.
Why?
No, I don't know. We also lost home hero, Sergio Perez.
Yeah, he was having a pretty good fight with Charles Leclerc for the most of it. And every time he did a pass or anything like that, there was just a massive cheer. It goes up from the grandstands.
Every time he went anywhere, there was a massive cheer, I thought. Especially when he went into the stadium. He was just, oh my God, there he is!
Yay!
No, good luck to him. I thought that was good. It added to the atmosphere as well.
It was, and it was a shame he had to retire.
That's the problem, though. It adds to the atmosphere, but when the only Mexican leaves the race, kind of removes from the atmosphere as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, or it's half a crowd going. It's like when Felipe Massa used to, retire in Brazil. It's like, no, I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah, they walk out. I don't get it. What the hell? Tofosi did that at San Marino as well a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
I think both Ferraris went out and they're like, yeah, do you know what? We're not watching red cars go around. We're off. Okay. Ocon had another bump as well. He ran into Hartley.
He did.
Well, did he run into Hartley?
There was contact between a Toro Rosso and a Force India. That's kind of all we know.
Yeah.
But while they were saying the damage looked like Ocon's end fence, I actually think the damage was from Hartley's floor.
That's what I think as well.
Yeah. So there was that. The Haas were nowhere today. They were plumb last.
Yeah.
They were properly shit.
There was a couple of pit stops for ultras. Hamilton and Ricciardo had a tussle, but we mentioned that about Hamilton outbreaking himself, going across the grass, and then Bottas repeating the thing with Kimi Räikkönen. And that was really about it, really, wasn't it? Ricciardo then retiring, which was a disappointment. He had smoke coming out the back of his car.
Yeah, it was a disappointment. And after that, you have Max going, turn my engine down, turn my engine down, turn my engine down.
Yeah. On the wiki, it does say engine on here. And I'm not going to argue with Wikipedia because it's a home of truth and justice.
Absolutely, yeah. If it's on Wikipedia, it must be true.
Exactly.
That's yeah. Like I said, Christian Horner, I'm sure is being very smug about this. I did notice Ricciardo didn't turn up for the team photo for the Red Bull thing, so
okay.
I think he is a bit pissed about all of that, and entirely understandable. I do want to point out though that the Red Bull Tag Heuer 1 was for a long time running 1-2. The Renault of Hülkenberg finished 6th. The Hondas finished 10th and 14th.
Right.
And, we still had a 20-odd grid penalty this week.
Yeah.
I'm not wishing ill on Honda at all, but a little karma for Christian might do him some good. Just maybe a little humility could be useful there.
Yeah. See, the Toro Rossos always look like they're going well, but we always forget. Well, I always forget that they've probably had a grid penalty anyway. They don't blow up in front of us anymore, but that is because they're having new parts put on them every single race.
It's effectively they're getting a new engine. Engine race. So look,
Yeah.
Gasly had a new one this week. He had a new one last week. And so did Hartley. Japan they didn't. Russia.
Japan they didn't because it's the home of Honda.
Russia, they both had new engines. Singapore, no new engines in Singapore. No new engines in Italy. And no new engines in Spa.
Right.
So, not too bad. Basically, it's just the last few races. It just seems like once they've exceeded their allocation, they're like, fuck it. Just go for it.
Yeah. It's all data gathering for next year, isn't it?
It definitely seems like that's the focus, and I can understand why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, are they getting rid of engine penalties next year or doing something about it? Or
I haven't heard anything. I think it'll still continue. But I think maybe Honda have turned around and said, look, we can't have, or we would like to limit the amount of times we see a Honda blow up on TV. And we would rather take a grid penalty than see a Honda blow up on TV. And maybe Honda had this sort of deal that turns around and says, okay, well, look, we'll give you a new engine. We'll pay for it. It's fine. But take the grid penalty. We would rather give you an engine than actually it blow up, because that must have done them some massive damage in sales and reputation. Well, we definitely know in reputation when they were with McLaren. So maybe they're erring on the side of caution, and also on the development eye as well for next year, because they're going to one of the big three teams. And so they need to get their shit in gear.
I can't help but feel for Honda, though. They've kind of gotten into bed with a shark. It's all being very friendly and pally, and we're looking forward to Honda, and everything I'm seeing from them is great. But Renault won them 4 world championships.
Yeah.
4 world titles. And the second it wasn't going right for them, they plunged knives deep into the back of Renault.
Yeah.
Deep in there. and spiteful about it as well, to the point of, branding the engines Tag Heuer and taking sponsorship from Aston Martin to just deny them any marketing support.
Yeah.
The only time Red Bull ever call that thing a Renault is when it breaks. Because Red Bull win what they say they win despite the engine. That's their mentality there.
It's a good team effort, and Renault don't get mentioned, do they? I haven't heard them turn around and say thank you to Renault for the engine that propelled us to the win or the pole position. There was nothing like that.
It's not to excuse Renault. They made a mess of these new regs. But, these fucking turbo hybrid engines, let's not get started on those right now. But I just feel... if the first half of the next season goes like the first half of this season went for Toro Rosso, in terms of engines and stuff like that, I can see shit getting sour very quickly, even quicker than it went with McLaren.
Yeah, I'm just looking over the results that they have. Brendan Hartley, he's had 5 retirements so far. Where is Gasly? 4 retirements so far. Now, they're not all engine related.
That we know.
There was some suspension related incidents. I think Hartley had one in Silverstone and other places as well. But if Honda want to play with the boys, then they need to produce. And yeah, they're getting into bed with a shark, but they've just come from a shark, though, haven't they? With McLaren.
Yeah, but McLaren was an old shark that was. It had the reputation, but McLaren was broken long before Honda turned up there.
Yeah,
McLaren has been broken probably, I'd say, since 2012.
Yeah, well,
I think 2012 was the last year you could legitimately say McLaren was a championship contender.
That's the reason why Lewis decided to jump ship, wasn't it?
Partly, yeah.
He could see where it was going, and he could see where Mercedes were going as well.
Mm-hmm. And that was because he was on the inside and can see, because externally they still look really strong.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Incidentally, I just wanted to point out, this was Ricciardo's 8th DNF.
Yeah.
Last season, Max had 7. And remember last season we were going about how Max has nothing but bad luck and all that kind of jazz.
Yeah.
It's just the way it happens, man.
Yeah.
Turnabout's fair play.
It's a lot, though, isn't it?
Oh,
it is.
Where
is he retired from? He's retired from Bahrain, Azerbaijan, Austria, the home of Red Bull, Germany, Belgium, Italy, United States, and Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And in between there, he's only been on the podium twice, and that's for his 2 wins. That's it. Now Max has got 2 wins as well this season.
Yeah. I don't think there'll be any more wins for him, though.
Unless there's a wet Brazil. No, I don't think so. I was going to put Kimi down for Abu Dhabi, but he's already done his win now, hasn't he? So it's highly unlikely that he'll get a second win this season.
It is.
I don't think there's anything else to really talk about incidences in the race.
No, it was pretty much a perfunctory race.
Yeah.
Like I said, after Danny Rick's engine went pop, there was a little bit of they're going to be very worried about Max's car, and it's like, no, I don't think they are. It's pretty rare for both of your car engines to go pop at the same time.
Yeah.
So, c'est la vie.
Yeah, no dramas. So Max did actually win the race.
Well done, Max.
And by quite a margin as well,
mm-hmm.
by about 17 seconds from Sebastian Vettel. Kimi Räikkönen was third, taking up the last podium position. Lewis Hamilton finished fourth, well over a minute behind, but he was poodling around not doing very much.
Yeah.
And thus wraps up his 5th world title. So he is now a 5 times world champion. So congratulations to him.
Tied with Fangio.
That's correct.
Second only to Michael Schumacher.
Yep, that's right. Valtteri Bottas was lapped and finished 5th. Nico Hulkenberg was 6th. Charles Leclerc was 7th. Stoffel Van Dorn 8th. What? Where did that come from?
My God, actual points.
6 points. No, hang on. It's not 6 points, is it? Is it 3 points or 4 points? I forget. Anyway.
What? No, it's, yes. Well, wait, it says 6 points, but that's wrong.
That is wrong, yeah.
Whoever's doing the Wikipedia, there you go. It's updated now. It's 4 points.
4 points. There we go. Marcus Ericsson was in 9th position and Pierre Gasly was in 10th position.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go.
And just in case we haven't mentioned it, both of the Hasses were plumb last.
They were, and I had a kind of little grin about that as well. They just weren't doing anything. They weren't getting anywhere. They were just getting in the way of everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Grosjean 3 laps down.
Yeah,
3.
When Ricciardo broke down, it was like, he was still listed ahead of Grosjean for for 3 laps. So.
Oh, brilliant. Haas right down at the bottom. Williams really didn't make any. I didn't even see them. During the race, apart from when they were getting lapped, and even then it was very brief.
Apparently, Brendan Hartley has a 5-second penalty for causing a collision, which must be the one with Ocon, I guess.
Yeah. I thought it was just a general racing incident, but obviously they thought that he closed the door on him, so what can we do? Right, I'm going to run down the Drivers' Championship. I'll let you run down the Constructors, if that's all right.
Yep, quite right.
Okay, in 5th position, we have Max Verstappen with 216 points. In 4th position, Valtteri Bottas sits there with 227 points. Kimi Räikkönen is still 3rd with 236 points. Sebastian Vettel, now the loser, with 294 points. And the champion this year is Mr. Lewis Hamilton with 358 points.
Well done, sir. Well done. And on the constructors' side, in 5th place is Haas with 84 points. 4th place is Renault with 114. And then there's a bit of a gap to Red Bull with 362 points. Ferrari a 2nd with 530 points. And Mercedes out ahead with 585. I think Mercedes only need it was 20 points today. I'm guessing maybe 15 for the next one to guarantee the championship.
Yeah.
For them.
Yeah, they've got it wrapped up, haven't they?
Potentially. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to see. Because interesting note is, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but I don't think Lewis has ever won in the same year he's won a championship once he's won it.
Yeah, he has struggled to win after that, hasn't he?
He has. So, Ferrari are looking to prove a point, and if Lewis is maybe a little bit off the boil now, potentially they could claw that back. It's a long shot, but I wouldn't discount it fully.
Well, they're going to try and give it to Bottas now, aren't they? They're going to give him a win, at least. Or try and get him to have a win.
Well, they can only do so much. He's got to put himself in the position to be there, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's right. Right. Our predictions from last time out. Do you remember what you stuck down?
Probably. I expect I put Hamilton, and I'm slightly regretting those choices at this point.
Okay. Well, for pole position, you went with Hamilton, so you get no points.
No.
I went with Vettel, so I get no points.
No.
Sense a pattern forming here already. Okay. For the race, you went with Lewis, no points.
No points.
I went with Vettel, no points.
No points.
For our third column, we went with where would Perez finish? You went with 6th, so you get no points.
Yep.
I went with 3rd, so I get
Definitely
no points.
No points.
Yes, that poor bugger didn't even finish the race.
No.
And for a fun little fourth column, we said, how many times would Red Bull collide with each other or with anyone else? Would there be any Red Bull contact whatsoever? You said there'll be one contact, but I don't remember any, so no points.
Wait.
Oh.
Wait.
Go on.
Toro Rosso is Italian for Red Bull.
Give over. No, I'm not having that. Stop.
Just saying, there was one bit of collision there.
Stop it. No, you're wrong. We said Red Bull. And I said 3 times, and I still get no points. So, at the end of this round, you scored no points.
No.
And I scored no points. So you still have 14 points, and I still have 13 points.
Oh, wow. It's getting a real nail biter here, isn't it?
It is.
We're going even further down to the line than the championship.
It's going even further to the line than the 2016 championship, with Lewis Hamilton backing Nico Rosberg into absolutely everyone. Right, so the next time out we have Brazil.
We do. The famous Interlagos circuit. And let's see here. Last year, 2017, pole position was Valtteri Bottas. And then the podium was Vettel from Bottas from Raikkonen, with a fastest lap from Max Verstappen. As far as the all-time winners goes, the most is 6 by Alan Prost, and then followed by Carlos Reutemann and Michael Schumacher, 3 from Vettel, and then a shit ton of people have won it twice.
Good stuff.
McLaren have won it 12 times overall, Ferrari 11, Williams 6, Red Bull 4, Brabham 3, same as Mercedes.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Let's see. Lewis has won here only once. That was 2016.
Right.
This has always been a bit of a bogey circuit for him. And Vettel won last year. Rosberg, Vettel, Jensen.
Yeah.
So
he hasn't really strived here, has he?
No, he is not. And he's won a championship.
Yes, he won the 2008 one here, didn't he?
So can I suggest a standing fourth column now, or fifth column, or whatever it ends up being, for the next 2 races? Will Lewis win again this season? Will he break that duck?
Okay. All right, then. That'll be on there. I've written that down. So, I get to choose, don't I?
You do.
I do. And I think Vettel's going to be pissed and want to do something with it. I'm reluctant to turn around and say he'll get pole position, though. I think Kimi Räikkönen get pole position. I'm going with Kimi.
You're going to Kimi.
Who are you going with?
I'm going with... Well, Verstappen technically still has 45 days to be the youngest ever pole sitter.
Yeah.
But that's not going to happen. So I'm going to go with Bottas.
Bottas?
I think Bottas is going to feel fired up, but now he's owed 2 wins. And, he's got to get himself in that position.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Bottas.
Right. For the race, I'm going to go with... I feel that Ferrari might out-drag everyone. I'm going to go with Vettel for the actual win itself.
I'm going to go with Lewis. I think... Yeah, I'm going to go with Lewis. I think he's going to try and prove that he can still win after winning a championship. Because he tried to do it last time out, and he almost did it in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah. Bottas won the last one in Abu Dhabi, didn't he?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, cool. Right, Lewis is written down. Third column. Well,
we've got no Brazilian drivers this time out that we can bet on.
No, nothing like that whatsoever.
Which is always a pain. What have we got? Anything interesting? Anything?
Well, Haas have been rather crap this time round, haven't they?
They have.
And we've been mocking them a little bit. Should we do something with Haas? Have we done anything with Haas this season? I'm sure we have.
Sure we have, but we could do something else with that. We can mess with them a bit more.
What about, because we had 4 retirements this time round, we've had a couple of races where we nearly had no retirements whatsoever. How about the amount of finishers? Because sometimes it has quite a high attrition rate, this race.
Yeah, I'm down with that. So, how many finishers or how many classified?
What about how many classified finishers?
How about instead, how many people DNF? How many DNFs?
Amount of DNFs. Okay, fair enough.
How many DNFs? Right. All right, let's have a quick look at some stats.
What was it last year?
Last year was 1, 2. Last year was 4.
Yeah.
Previous year was 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Previous to that was just 2, of which one was a disqualification.
Right. I think I'm going to go with 6.
You're going to go with 6, are you?
Yep.
I'll go with 4.
You're going with 4. Okay. And for the 4th column, for a bit of fun, you said about will Lewis be able to pull off a win, yes?
Well, I've already stuck down yes, so...
So, will Lewis win? Win? And you said yes. I'm going to say no. Why the hell not?
Nice and easy.
Do we get points for that as well? I'd take it we do, yes.
Yeah, I think we may as well.
Okay.
Take them where we can get them.
Okay, that sounds good to me. Right, that is it. It's in the book, all ready to go. It's in pencil this time, but what I'll do, I'll go over it later with pen, so it is permanently set into that book.
Sounds good.
There we go. Right, thank you very much for everyone who's listened to us waffle on about the Mexican Grand Prix. Join us 2 weeks' time, I think it is, for the Brazilian Grand Prix. You're still in the country, aren't you?
I should still be in the country. I don't think I have gallivanting to do, but I don't think any of it's over weekends. So yay.
Good stuff. Okay, cool. Well, you know exactly where to catch us for all the other palavers all over at Rogue2Media and stuff like that. So you already know the links. They're in the show notes as well.
Go check them out. You know, go spread the word. Tell a friend to give us a listen. You know,
that's right.
You know,
we are thinking for the final race like this. Straight after the race, we'll be doing our normal recording, but it'll be going out live on Mixlr. So if you want to join us, please pop along to mixlr.com/Rogue2Media and you can join in on the chat room. You're also welcome to Skype in on us if you feel obliged to. You don't have to, but you're more than welcome to. So the offer is there. What we do next time out, Andy, remind me, we'll plug that at the very beginning of the podcast next time out.
Okay.
Just in case, because there's going to be 1 or 2 people that are switched off by now. Losers. Idiots. Yeah. You guys listening now, you're the guys we like.
We can mock those guys that's turned off though because they're not listening. So screw those losers.
No, they're idiots, aren't they?
Exactly.
Stupid, silly people. But you know, if you've turned off and joined us, you've made it to the end. So you're not an idiot. So congratulations. I am now stalling for the end. So thank you, Andy, for joining us and being in the country as per normal.
You're welcome, sir.
Good man. And we'll all see you next time out. So until then, bye-bye.
Ta-ra.
Especially if Ultraverne's got a problem because 2.8 has become 1.9 in the space of a lap. So that's going to happen, isn't it?